It's gone past 20 past 6, and it's hockey night in the hangar as the TSI World Berkshire Bees welcome the visitors from Yorkshire this evening, the Hull Seahawks, with both teams desperate for points. This is the first game of a double-header weekend. The sides meeting in Hull tomorrow night. The Bees desperately trying to get points to maybe give themselves a sniff of a chance of getting the 8th playoff spot. They helped themselves with a win against Solway last Sunday. The Seahawks, well, they're just looking to make it interesting. They were hit by a points, well, essentially a points deduction this morning when the 6-5 game against the Peterborough Phantoms was overturned to a 5-0 win. Less said about that, the better. That's been controversial all day, so we'll wait and see if the table is right. Because I know if Nick has done his usual thing of copied it off the National League website, the National League website table is actually wrong. Nick, punch it. The league table, do it. It's not your fault. It's not your fault this time, Nick. So the league table currently stands. The Milton Keynes Lightning at top on 67. The Leeds Knights tied with them on 67. 10 games remaining. Goal difference, the only separator. Oh, sorry, the Milton Keynes Lightning having a better head-to-head is the only separator. Those two teams milked in the Thunderdome in a couple of weeks' time. The Hull Seahawks, well, Nick obviously copied this when they still had 57 points. The National League table says they have 56. In actual fact, they're on 55. The Peterborough Phantoms are on 53 points, following being gifted the 1 point. Sheffield Steeldogs only have 7 games left. They're on 52. They're still in that mid-table battle. The Bees, well, they're at the bottom. They are 10 points off the 8th spot. They've got 10 games to try and make it up. The schedule is somewhat favourable for the home side, with only the Swindon Wildcats and the Hull Seahawks of the top 4 left to play. The Seahawks are, of course, the only team of the top 4 not to have fallen to the Bees this season yet. Tonight could be the night, but let's face it, Hull turned up with not that many players, but it's still a lot of quality in the lineup. Speaking of lineups, firstly, the Berkshire Bees this evening. They line up as follows. 2, Adam Rossbottom. 5, Ollie Nags. 12, Hallam Wilson. 15, Ty Cathcart. 16, Adam Erskine. 19, Will Stead. 21, Marcel Ballas. 23, Dominic Gabay. 24, Dan Rose. 27, Josh Smith. 33, Ralph Sesenis. 71, Josh Kelly. 88, Josh Martin. 91, Ollie Hemmings-Mayer. 94, Stuart Mogg. 95, Jacob Ranson. Netminders 42, Max Wright. And 45, Dean Skins. Not icing tonight for the Bees. Preston Toms and Roman Cathcart, who are both on South 1 duty with the Streatham Redhawks as they push the South 1 title. And Liam Morris, who fell to yet another suspension after his fight in the last 5 minutes of the game on Sunday against the Solway Sharks. Our visitors this evening, they've made the long trip down from Yorkshire, and they line up as follows. 5, Rhys Edwards. 6, Callum McGill. 9, Johnny Cornell. 11, Owen Bruton. 17, Jason Hewitt. 19, Alex Kent. 23, Lee Hayward. 42, Ethan Daintiff. 71, Emil Sveck. 73, Josh Hodgkinson. 90, Declan Jones. 94, Declan Barmer. 96, Owen Sobchak. Netminders 34, Dimitri Zamosdra. 72, Jordan McLaughlin. As I say, undermanned, 13 players, but a lot of talent. Owen Sobchak, 99 points according to the National League website. Just remember that one of those is a shootout goal where the goal doesn't count as a shot, so he's on 98 in normal terms. The loss of Bobby Chamberlain is huge. The loss of Lee Bonner as he went down to a suspension earlier in the week for, well, a borderline dodgy hit, let's just say it. Personally, everyone, I'm going to say it, I thought it was clean as a whistle. It's the aftermath that's done the damage there, but hey-ho, we move on. Matty Davis is this as the head coach. We'll wait and see if he's on the bench. He's sitting a 2-game ban after all, but hey-ho, let's see if that actually happens tonight. Your officials for the evening, who are on the ice already. In the Water Wings of Power, it's Mr. Mark Goodfellow and Mr. Will Hewitt. Linesman Mr. Justin Allende and Master Pavel Olchak as the Seahawks take to the ice behind us. And I'm just going to do the bit that's going to really annoy Nick already. We've been given a wrong jersey number. Ethan Daintiff is wearing 62, not 42. Again, Nick, not on you. Judging by who's wearing a cap and who's got a helmet on, Dimitri Zamosdra is going to start for the Seahawks. They have been road warriors all year. They own quite possibly the most destructive power play that the league has ever seen. It's on 7 goals so far this season. For context, the record is 72. So they need 16 power play goals in the last 10 games to have the record for the National League. More on that coming later in the year, don't worry. Penalty kills, well, the Bees, probably the only area where they're actually better off than the Seahawks. It currently sits second in the league, 79% success rate, 73 for the Seahawks. So again, it turns into a case of the #1 power play and the #2 penalty kill in the league. So quite literally, it's the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Yep, we're going to actually do it the right way around as the last few weeks. As Zamosdra has led the Seahawks out there in their road whites tonight, so we just await Max Wright and the Bees, who are ready to go below us. Today's games elsewhere in the league. The Swindon Wildcats and the Romford Raiders, they start the same time we do here. Elsewhere, Solway v Telford in the battle for 8th spot. And then 2 games with title ambitions, but who really cares? Spoilers, Peterborough might beat Leeds. Lightning, well, let's face it, if they don't beat Bristol, they've blown it themselves. Max Wright is ready to go. We'll keep updating that through the night for you. And don't forget as well, Hull fans, it's the first time we've done it. So obviously it's been a while since you've been down here for the second and final visit this year. We'll have it in the third period. It's going to be changed up from the last few weeks. It's going to be about 10 minutes to go. But you can have your vote for man of the match. So when you come around to the third period, make sure you've got your phones ready. Scan the QR code when it comes up on the screen. You'll have 10 minutes to vote for the man of the match of both teams for the evening from a shortlist selected during the third. Because last week we had to do it before the third started, and Marcel Ballas scored a 10-minute hat-trick and wasn't on the list. We do what we can. As Max Wright leads out the Bees, we'll be back with you with the first period of tonight's game in about 3 minutes' time. Well, it's shortly time for your Saturday night's main event. Starting netminders this evening for the Bees. Well, no prizes for guessing who. It's Max Wright. He's 12, 24 and 4 on the season. A 906 save percentage. 4.07 goals against average in 2,372 minutes in the crease. Yet to have a shutout. At the other end for the Hull Seahawks, it will be the demigod, Dimitri Zamosdra, 13, 6 and 5 on the season, an 895 save percentage, 3.58 goals against average in 1,425 minutes in the crease, with 2 shutouts thrown in for good measure. So for the first time this year, the Bees actually outnumber a visiting team. I wish I was joking. It's February. As we soon get ready and underway, like I said, the Seahawks, they might only have the 13 outskaters, but they are 13 very good outskaters. Look down the points list. Owen Sobchak is technically on 99. Emil Svek is closing in as well. Jason Hewitt in the 50s. Johnny Corneal closing in on the 60s. Can the Bees do something they haven't done in almost a year, which is somehow stop Owen Sobchak from scoring? It's a problem a lot of teams have had this year. As the Bees are almost ready to go. Referee Mark Goodfellow just making sure, checking on the benches that everyone has, oh sorry, I should say Will Hughes, making sure everyone's got their neck guards on. It was an issue last week with players not wearing them at the start of the game. Referee Mark Goodfellow calls them in. And we are underway in period number 1. The Bees win the opening draw. Cathcart tries to play at the far side wall. That's turned over off the stick of Edwards. Back to Bruton. Anyway, Mogg will fire it into the zone. He's mostly out of his net to play it. Leaves it for Hayward. Edwards tries to chip it on ahead. Misplaced pass on that one, which causes the offside. Hewitt doesn't hear the whistle, and that will go the whole way back. Obviously, miscommunication on that line. Hewitt centering a line of Edwards and Bruton on that one. I think we're going to say neutralise actually on this one. Here's the Top Gun line after all. Cornel, Sobchak and Svek. Potential for fireworks this evening. Goodbye throws it cross ice. Cleared out the zone by the Seahawks. And Nags. Just told to hold on to it for a second by D partner Josh Kelly as they try and draw Sobchak in. That is not cleared out the zone. Svek receives the pass, but is broken up as he can't get out under his skates. Goodbye will try and clear out the wall and gets it over the blue line. Seahawks at the back end. Blown into the zone comes Josh Hodgkinson. He runs into Justin Lalonde with a perfectly legal check. Nags to Stead. Finds Smith. Bumped off the puck by McGill. Seahawks will try and come the other way. Icing signalled and called. Kent argues his case. Unmoved as the linesman on this occasion. So I'll go the whole way back the other end. Face off to the right is the Molstra. Won by the Seahawks. Quickly turned over, or at least tried to. Rose tries to steal it off of Cornel. And the Seahawks are able to clear. Mogg. Fired round the boards, icing waved off. Seahawks come away with it. Cleared out the zone. Lovely little pass up ice. Jones in a foot race with Ransom. Jones gets there first. Good little sticking away there for Ransom. Prevents any shot on goal. Kent finds Daintiff. Kent again. Ethan Daintiff playing his first National League game of the season tonight. Has been playing with the Hull Jets and Kingston Sharks in North 1 and North 2. Putting up points in both of those teams. No one for the future for the Seahawks as it's cleared up the wall. Played ahead by Kent. Foot race to the puck will be won by Cathcart ahead of Daintiff. Kelly up the near side wall. That one will be iced. Draw one by Hewitt. Bruton back to the blue line. Misses out on the return pass. Bounce off the Zamboni doors. Throws it almost to the slot. Goodbye is there on the read. Goodbye will take the puck up ice. 2-on-2 the other way. Goodbye over the blue line. Tries to go for the wraparound attempt. Throwing it back to the slot. No one there. Shot from the blue line is blocked. Seahawks will try and break. And here goes Owen Bruton the other way. Bees all over him. Bruton tries to, well, didn't really try to go for the shot. We're going to wait a call. Cathcart bumping him, the net comes off. Over to producer Nick. No signal coming from the referee here. Well, that's the chance of goodbye at the other end. As it goes through the skates to Sesenis. And here is Bruton on the break. Under pressure from Cathcart. Bruton pleads his case. He tried to get a shot off, but it is deemed he has taken the net off. So we're going out of the zone into neutral ice. Hewitt wins the draw and then immediately gloves the puck back to his defenseman. So They actually lose a face-off dot and will now be on the Hull side of the ice. Jason Hewitt guilty of having too fast reactions there and just batting the puck back to Josh Hodgkinson. Goodbye wins the draw. Nags. Across to Mogg. He'll just fire it into the zone as he gets center ice. Zamolstra leaves it in the back. That's turned over. Chance in front for the Bees. And Seahawks battle back to get in that one. That could have been messy. Throwing up the near side wall. Right, out of his net to play it. Edwards bearing down on him. Almost turned over. Is turned over. No one there really helping Edwards out, and the Bees recover. Stead the other way. Tries to get around Sobchak. Held up down low to the front of the net. Trying to shovel it in short side. Bounced off the side of the cage. Nags pinching in. Passes it along. Puck to the centre of the zone. Tied up there is Balaz by Lee Haywood. And the Seahawks come the other way. Cornel. Gets right at Josh Kelly. Spins away. Tries to drop the pass off to Svet, but it's turned over. Regained by Cornel for a second. Goodbye on the back check. Breaks that one up. Haywood to Sobchak. Thrown opposite corner. Foot race between McGill and Ransom is high up into the netting. That one will stay inside. 4:09 gone so far. Wilson comes away with the puck. Ransom tries to launch the clearance. One's just behind Hemmings May, but it gets out of the zone. Cornel drops it off to Svek. Cross ice pass, finds Sobchak. Return serve is well read there by Hallam Wilson. He gets there ahead of everyone just to clear the puck on the other end of the ice. Cornel, lovely little play between him and Sobchak. Quickly squashed out by Hallam Wilson. Sobchak seems to stand on his stick. The Bees go the other way. Sesenis keeps the puck in the zone. Steps inside one, loses it on the poke check. Svek able to collect. Seahawks with clear room this far side. Offside is called on Alex Kent. That one was close, I must admit, from where I'm stood. 5 minutes gone exactly in the first. Face off to Zamolsdra's left on this occasion. Won by the Seahawks once again. Kent able to clear the zone. Foot race between Dentif and Kelly. Kelly does a good job of holding his man off. Loses, well, took his eye off the puck for a second and almost coughed it up. Now they will. Kent takes it off Rossbottom. Barner shot from the blue line. A couple of deflections. Takes it wide of the net. Kent back high. Cycle around to Barner. Shot through traffic. Kicked aside by Wright. Rebound for Daintiff. Doesn't get a clean connection on it. Barner will have another go. Winds up, fires. That one's into the chest of the Canadian. And he will make the save. Just opened up a little too much of Barmer there. Right with a clean view of traffic all the way through there. Comes away with a draw. Nice clearance immediately picked off by Hewitt. Bruton. Tried to throw it to the paint. Goodbye picks that one off. Edwards tries to get it back to Bruton. Hewitt. And the ball to go. Bruton. Back to the blue line and Hayward. Balaz takes it off Hayward's stick and it's a breakaway chance. Balaz winds up, passes to Will Stead, and Stead fires home for goal 23 of the season. 6:12 time of the goal. It's the easy pickpocket from Marcel Balaz. And he holds on just long enough to commit Zamozra one way and snaps the pass over to Will Stead to poke it home. Instead, goal number 23 of the year. One of only 3 active Bs in double digits. The second goal running, Marcel Balaz has dispossessed the defenseman at the blue line. Zamozra tries to settle it down, it falls to Martin. Down low to Smith, into the low slot, picked off by the Seahawks. Svek. Coming through centre ice, Bees recover. Kelly. Ransom off the boards. Gets the puck back. Ransom will take it himself through the centre of the zone. That's high into the glove of Zamozra and he'll hold on. Needless to say, Stead from Balaz is the official first goal. No point chiseling going on there. Seahawks win the draw, fired out the zone. Kelly able to get there ahead of Solchak, will just fire it back in. Rose into the corner. Sesenis blows a tyre. Hodgkinson collects the puck. Lovely work from the Seahawks. Offside called once again. Case of just mistiming it on the zone entry so far for the visitors. Plenty of time yet to still get back into this game. Seahawks win the draw. Cathcart keeps it in, kicks it down. Able to clear on this occasion, Sobchak. Thrown straight through the centre of the pad. Lovely pass, finds Cornel, drops off to Svek. Picked off by Cathcart. Cathcart can't get away from Sobchak. Loose puck collected by Rossbottom. Spins away from Cornel. And loses out to Sobchak again. Sobchak with some brilliant hands. Still with it, finally getting away by Rossbottom. Back to Cornel, shot saved by Wright, and a second one either blocked by Mogg or saved by Wright again. Sobchak to Haywood. Cornel thrown through the painted area, no one picks up McGill. Thrown down low, a bit too hot on that one. Collected by Haywood, bumped off it by Cathcart. Rossbottom will settle it off for Sesenis. Into the zone pass, Kent gets taken out by a big hit there at the blue line by Declan Jones. He throws it into the zone. Wright will hold on. And now Barmer and Sesenis with a few words exchanged. There's the replay of the hit on Sesenis. I missed it, but you got it at home. Oh, here you go. He's happy, so happy with it, he's going to show it again. Nothing wrong with that at all. Perfectly clean. Goodbye wins the draw. Cycled round to Stead. Thrown up ice. Goodbye tips it on, helps it on its way. Balaz into the zone. Loses out on it with Barmer putting him under pressure. Turnover again though by the Seahawks. Stead goes to the opposite corner. Goodbye with the stick lift on Haywood. Sorry, Hodgkinson on that one. I just saw a 3 turning around. Seahawks the other way. Break over the blue line. Kent into the zone. Shot save right. And more words being said between the two teams. Don't forget, these two teams meet back up in Hull tomorrow night. So we'll see if anything carries over to that one. 8:40 gone so far in period number 1. Seahawks win the draw, back to the blue line. Barmer off the stick of Balaz, high up into the netting. Something we've seen a lot over the years here. Declan Barmer just firing in rockets from that blue line. Nice to see him back with the Seahawks. They win the draw again. Barmer, that one's off the skate of Edwards. Turns, fires, off the stick of Wright. Bees will clear the blue line. Stead, under pressure, will try and chip it round Hodgkinson. Barmer gets there first. Turned over. Stead tries to go back to the blue line, but there's only the Seahawks forward there. Hewitt into the zones. Chips it round Ranson, collects his own rebound. Brilliant defensive block there from Stuart Mogg. Prevents any kind of shot on the rebound. Balaz out the zone. Loose pack picked up by Hewitt. Seahawks again, the other way. Thrown towards goal by Edwards. Cathcart does well to get it under control. Seahawks go for a full forward change there. A bit loose in neutral ice. Wilson dumps it in. Turned over by the Seahawks. Smith to Wilson. Poked away out the back there by McGill. Bees bring it out the corner and then decide to dump it back into the corner. Interesting strategy, doesn't work. Svek. Thrown cross ice. Cathcart under pressure from Sobchak. Does brilliantly to get it to Wilson. That one just behind Hemmingsmayer. Seahawks will bring it the other way once more. Cornell under pressure from Hemmingsmayer. Now tied up by Smith. Loses out on the puck on this occasion. Kelly tries to get away from the forward. Loses out. Svek. Kelly with no stick in his hand now. Cornell tries to go back to Svek. That one's blocked by Smith, and Hemmingsmayer is away the other way. Winds up, fires from centre ice. Not the best shot we're going to see all night. In fact, his stick snapped on impact. So there we go. That explains it. Jones. Seahawks over the blue line. Hodgkinson. Once again, Svek doesn't get back out the zone in time. 1, 2, 3, crunch. That explains the Thunder Muffin. 10:53 gone so far in period number 1. Rossbottom takes it away from Barmer. Barmer does brilliantly well just to get the stick in the way. Break the puck up from Rossbottom's stick. Held up in the corner. Seahawks knock it loose. Fired cross ice. Icing is called, and it was not even over the goal line there. I think the icing call is going to stand. Mogg would have beaten Jones to the puck. Overly keen officiating there. I think we're going to go back to centre ice. Interesting decision, but there we go. Bees win the draw. Mogg will get the centre ice line and fire it in. Zmolstra sells it down for Hodgkinson. Kept in his own by Mogg. He'll just dump it back in behind the net. There Barmer collects. Sesenis and Hodgkinson now having words. Rossbottom breaks up the attempted pass to Jones. Winds the hit off the puck. Loose puck. Kelly gets there ahead of Jones. Sesenis beats Daintiff to the hit. Over the blue line. Nags the other way. Spins away from trouble. Finds Rossbottom. Bundled down in front. Still loose. Finally jabbed away by McGill. Round the boards it goes. Nags is spun round and the Seahawks will break the other way. The hits are really getting a bit chunky now as Adam Rossbottom drops Owen Bruton. And now Rhys Edwards is hitting Rossbottom in the back of the head, for lack of a better term. And penalties are finally going to get called here. 12-12. And Rhys Edwards is heading to the box. The Bees heading to the power play. Well, here's the hit from Rossbottom that started it. There's nothing wrong with that one. Rhys Edwards will sit 2 minutes for roughing. 12-12 time of the call. Bees on the man advantage. They have 40 goals this season. 22.47 success rates. Will Stead and Marcel Balaz lead the team with 10 power play goals each. The Seahawks on the penalty kill, they've given up 52 goals this season, 73.33 success rates. Bees with an early chance to double this lead. 5 forwards out on the power play. I've said it before on many streams this year, I really don't like the 5 forwards on the power play, especially when it's Marcel Ballas and Dominic Gabay usually at the back end. Gabay will lead the rush up ice. Finds Sesenis. Thrown behind goal, Stead. Down to Rossbottom. Gabay. Ballas finds Rossbottom in a slot. That one's blocked in front. Rebound picked up by Ballas. Another big block from a Seahawks defenseman. Sesenis. Leaves it for Gabay. Back to Gabay. Shot saved by Zamosdra. Bouncing puck. Seahawks clear. Wright will come out of his net to play it. He'll leave it for Gabay. Over to Ballas. Sobchak putting him under pressure. Wants a hit from Barmer as well, but loses out on the puck. Sobchak gets there first. Fired around the boards. Hodgkinson tries to help it on its way. Gabay keeps it in the zone. Back to Rossbottom. Pass slightly behind Stead. Ballas. Looking for an option. 2 Seahawks putting him under pressure. They can't clear. Gabay keeps it in. Finds Rossbottom. Back to Gabay. He's a little too slow on this power play attempt. Gabay down low. Finds Ballas. That one fired wide. Just under 30 seconds left on the Edwards penalty. Stead. Gabay off the deflection. Fired just on goal. Zamosdra holds on. And that will allow both teams to get a change in. Just a clear line of sight for Zamosdra. Nothing really on the shot. He's just trying to set up and get a proper line on for the final 16 seconds, and then the man out the box. Seahawks win the draw, clear the zone. Ranson is there, moves it across to Mogg. That will probably do it for the man out the box, for the power play. Bruton, as they kill the final seconds, and Edwards steps back onto the ice. Fired up to Hewitt. Can't get that under control. Ransom can't clear as it's kept in. Played behind the net. Mogg. That one fanned on. Smith will get there first ahead of McGill. That one falls nicely to Martin. Back to Josh Smith. Smith shot blocked. Brilliant work from the Seahawks to get back in that and break the other way. Odd man rush over the blue line. Kelly knocks Edwards off the puck. Pokes it away from Hewitt. Wilson. Fired over to Smith. He'll just chip that in past Hodgkinson and go to the bench. Barmer to Svek. That one played ahead off the skates of Gabay. Falls nicely to Sobchak. Dangles his man, Corneal. Tries to find Svek. Back to all chance. Sobchak! Robbery time! Max Wright flashes out the leather and it's into the glove once more. Owen Sobchak given the freedom of Slough. And Max Wright makes the save. Gabay wins the draw. Kelly. Fans on the pass. Somehow it works. Gabay thrown cross ice. Wilstead will get there first ahead of Hodgkinson. Evades the hit in the corner. Doesn't find his man on the opposite board side. Seahawks the other way. Sobchak over the blue line. Waiting for help. Drops it off for Corneal. Barmer at the blue line. Down low again. Corneal. Thrown in front, that's off the skate of Kelly as he's tied up with Svek. Kelly's clearance doesn't make it over the blue line. And more penalties coming here as Cathcart and Sobchak have it coming together. I think the Seahawks are going to go on the power play as Cathcart and Sobchak Does look like it's 4-on-4. Owen Sobchak receives 2 minutes for roughing, and Ty Cathcart 2 minutes for holding. So we're going to stay 5-on-5. B's struggling to count to 4 at the moment as they finally shove a 5th man on. That feels incredibly harsh on the Seahawks there. Cathcart very much the instigator of all that. So we'll stay 5-on-5. The Bees win the draw. Nags. Clearance picked off by Svek. Gets his pocket picked by Stead on the back end. Turned over, Cornel. Fired cross ice. Thrown towards net, Wright makes the grab, and he'll hold on. 4:04 remaining in period number 1. Goodbye wins the draw. Turned over, Cornel fired around the ball. Svek will get there ahead of Mog. Up to blue line, Barmer fired into the corner. Jones loses out on that occasion. Nags gets under control, tries to bring it out of the zone, and runs straight into Svek. Jones. Svek dispossessed by Goodbye. Balaz will try and clear. Finds Stead. B's the other way. Stead tries to get around his man. Does. Can't beat Barmer. Seahawks clear. 3:20 remaining. Icing is called on that one. Left, tied up. Seahawks finally come away with the puck. Svek up this near side. Stretch past to Jones. Hodgkinson, man driving the net, goes around the boards. Whole lap of the zone, fire towards goal. Deflection takes that one wide. Svek loses out to Sesenis. He clears. Hewitt. Thrown through the zone, bouncing puck. Nags pokes it off Hewitt's stick. Bruton. Fire back across to Bruton. Bumped off the puck by Nags. Martin is there to help. Edwards. Tied up in the corner, brings it out himself. Chance for Hewitt. Thrown wide of the net. Rebound takes it all the way back to the blue line. No one able to get there first. Foot race to the puck. Kelly gets there ahead of McGill. Kelly will take it up ice himself. He's under pressure. Josh Kelly away from net. Snaps one on goal. Zamozja makes the save. Holds it on next to his hip. 2:06 remaining in period number 1. Sobchak and Cathcart return to the game. Josh Kelly, bless him, not really the man you want on a breakaway chance. Still waiting for that first goal this year. Seahawks win the draw. Chip round the boards, out of the zone. Long collected at centre ice. Fires it off of a rather painful area of Ollie Hemmingsmayer. Offside is also called at the same time. Neutral zone draw. Tied up once again. Bees come away with the puck. Mog. Little chip ahead Hemmingsmayer this time. Seahawks with it. Far across ice. Svek. To Sobchak. Poked away by Hemmingsmayer. Kept in by McGill. misses Svek. Cornel jumps in ahead. Yeah, shot from the blue line, blocked by Hemmingsmayer again, out of the zone this time. Seahawks on the entry. Hayward pushes his way past Cathcart. The drop passes to no one in a white shirt. Sobchak does brilliantly well just to read the play. Gives it up to Kelly. Hemmingsmayer tips it out the zone. As we tip closer down to the final minute of the first. Both teams get a change in. Hodgkinson cycles around the back of his net. Fired up to Jones. Helps it on its way. Goodbye. They're ahead of Hewitt. Kelly does not beat Svek. Digs out from the corner. Going through everyone, finds Hewitt, blocked by Goodbye. Scramble in front, knocked loose. Barmer back to the blue line, kicked out of the zone by Hodgkinson. A little touch on that one from Balaz, it prevents the pass to Svek. 30 seconds remaining. Stead turns on the zone entry, pushed off the puck by Jones, leaves it for Goodbye. Snap cross ice, chance in front, saved by Zamosdra. He'll hold on at the second time of asking. Mogg snapping one on net from the near side face-off dot here. 18.8 seconds remaining in period number one. Still time for another goal. Seahawks win the draw. Can they launch an attack in this final 10 seconds? Not with a pass like that. That one is just behind Aaron Bruton. Balaz takes it away from Hewitt. Tied up. He'll just throw it up ice. Icing is signalled on this one. Barmer deemed to be able to play it. And that will do it for period number one. Well, the Bees, they've had one high-quality chance. And they made it count. Marcel Balaz dispossessing the man at the blue line for the second week running. Going straight up ice before teeing it off to Wilstead to fire home. The Bees lead 1-0. They deserve the lead on the balance of play, but the Seahawks look dangerous coming the other way. This line of Sobchak, Cornel and Svek is going to cause issues all night. We'll be back with you for the second period in about 15 minutes' time. Welcome back to the hangar at the start of period number 2 here in Slough this evening, where the score is the Berkshire Bees 1, the Hull Seahawks 0. The solitary goal coming from Wilstead off the assist from Marcel Balaz, opening scoring for the home side even. Shots on goal, there were 11 on Dimitri Zamosdra in the Seahawks net, 8 on Max Wright in the Bees net. A couple of penalties for the Seahawks, 1 for the Bees. As I said, the Sobchak one felt very, very generous at the time. Elsewhere in the league right now, at the start of the second period, it is the Swindon Wildcats 3, Romford Raiders 0 at the end of the first. Solway Sharks 2, Telford 0 in the battle for 8th. The Peterborough Phantoms 0, Leeds Knights 1, and to the surprise of no one, the MK Lightning are beating the Bristol Pitbulls. World stunned. Obviously, the playoffs only 5 weeks away now. The Bees battling to try and get in it. It's a long shot, it must be said, but a Telford loss. And if the Bees can win here tonight, the horrible thing known as hope is given again as the teams rejoin us for the second period. Zamosdra leading out the visitors, Max Wright leading out the Bees. We'll wait and see what the second period has for us this evening. Five on 5 start period as the Seahawks eventually will make their way out. As we look to get ready to go. Don't forget these two teams meet back up in Hull tomorrow night. Bees fans, obviously, the live stream is available. It's a long way to go on a Sunday at the moment, especially with Coventry looming. Referee Will Hewitt checks with the goalies. And we are underway with period number 2. Bees win the opening puck drop. Edwards does a good job of battling through Bees players, so no avail on that occasion. Haywood, that one is behind Bruton. Mogg beats out the icing call, cleared it only to Hewitt, sorry. Edwards loses out on that one. Bees will bring it the other way. Stead skates out Haywood, fires it off the boards. McGill tries to clear but can't. Lovely pass, finds Will Stead. Fans on the attempted pass, so it goes back to the blue line. Kelly cycled round. Bruton breaks it up. Not out the zone though. Balaz fired, high slot. Stead blocked by Edwards. Just throws it off the boards. McGill does a good job of getting it away from Balaz. Edwards helps him on its way out the zone. Stead turns, fires. No one there. Zamolja will watch it hop up into his glove and hold on. Awful lot of movement for not a lot of actual things happening there in that first minute. Face off, won by Wilson. Back to the blue line and Nags. He throws it into the corner. Off of the Zamboni doors. Marty gets there ahead of Barmer. Toss it up to Svetlo. Goes back to Barmer. Long stretch pass. Fired on right. And wash out the icing call. Nags. Bumped off the puck by Sobchak. Clearance off the glove of Barmer, so no icing call. Hodgkinson loses out to Hemmings-May. Does a brilliant job of getting it away from the young forward. Any chance? Barmer sells off to Svek. Cornel stopped at the blue line. Svek tries to collect, but Sobchak is deemed offside. Neutral zone face-off, just on the Bees' side of the ice. Seahawks win the draw, pushed into the corner by Daintiff. Ranson will get there first ahead of Kent. Cycled around the boards, falls to Daintiff. Jones can't get a clean shot away. Sticks holding him up there. Turned over, no. Held him down low, Mogg. Fades one hit, knocked loose. That will fall to Sesenis. He will turn and go the other way. Skates at his man, little stop and goes. He throws it into the corner. Around the boards, Rose can't get under control. Kent carries it out. Rossbottom can't get a glove on that one. Fall to Daintiff. Stopped by his man marking him. Hayward the other way. Glove down by Rossbottom, but it's over the blue line. Under pressure from Daintiff. Ransom. That one's turned over once more. Hayward will try and get the Seahawks moving in the right direction. Thrown up ice. Icing waved off. Ransom back to collect. Seahawks will go for a change. Mogg. Up the wall to Rossbottom. Falls to Sesenis. Fired cross ice. Rose jumping the gun on that one. Then he's in the wrong place. There's a brilliant job of getting past Hewitt. Hewitt winds up and fires still off the blocker of right. Rebound falls to Edwards. Right holds on once more. Puck loose. Back to the blue line. Barmer. Fired off the leg of Sesenis in front. Deflected into the corner. Hodgkinson. That one out the zone. Barmer stick lift by Sesenis. Hewitt chips it on ahead to Bruton. Bruton tries to go back into neutral eye, into the slot area. Barmer does a good job of keeping it in the zone. Bruton again, that one's off a leg in front. Edwards, Barmer calling for it, just off the slot. Fired around the boards once more. Bees not able to clear once again. Hewitt breaks in on goal. Hewitt to the forehand, chance. Loses it at the last second. Lots of bodies in the way. Bees will try and clear. Barmer keeps it in again. Hodgkinson steps in. Shot fired. Rebound loose in front. Not on the end of that. Rebound still there and shoveled home, and the Seahawks tie it up. Jason Hewitt, being a nuisance at the top of the paint, is the recipient as he tucks it in past right. 23-47 in goal number 14 of the season for Jason Hewitt. It's all very scrappy, Bruton throws it in front of the net, and it's almost rise upright and in from the veteran forward. We have a tie game. Grit and grind from that Seahawks unit ties the game up. Goodbye fires that one into the corner. Stead in the corner tries to find Goodbye. Hayward is there. I'll turn over again as well. Broken back. Stead can't get it under control. Ballas fires wide. Good work from Lee Hayward. Doesn't let the Slovak get a clean shot away. Cornel back to McGill. Gets his pocket picked by Ballas. Finds Stead. Stead shot blocked brilliantly by Cornel. And out the zone. Cathcart. Seahawks goal is officially Hewitt from Bruton. Hayward loses out on Stead again. Zamolja has to poke it away from the B-sword this time. Goodbye. With a chance in front. Ballas can't get a stick down in time. Cornel tying him up. Seahawks able to clear. Sobchak waiting his blue line will drop it back to Hayward. Finds Cornel as he draws the defenseman in. Cornel put under pressure by Kelly. Pokes away into the corner. Loose again. Seahawks. Cornel with a screen in front. Blocker save right. Hodgkinson. That one's blocked. Foot race to it. Barmer will get there first ahead of Gabai. Hodgkinson. Tipped on ahead by Jones. That will fall to right. He's got Daintiff bearing down. He'll just cover it up. Bees win the draw. Around the boards it goes. Smith to Hemmings-May. Can't quite get it under control. That lets Barmer steal it off him. Not to head though. Mogg. Smith will throw that one ahead. Hemmings-May gets there first. Spins away from Hodgkinson. Into more danger of Declan Barmer. Gets out of trouble though. Pinned by the third man coming in, which is Declan Jones. Daintiff tries to find Kent. That one taken away from him. Nags gets dispossessed by Jones. No danger on that one. Bees the other way. Wilson finds Hemmings-May. Looking for an option. Bounce off the boards. Shot comes in. That's off the stick of Smith. And goes higher up into the netting. Ranson with the blue line blast. Hewitt wins the draw. Hayward all the way through centre ice. Edwards collects it. Right, sells it down. He'll fire it off the black seat. McGill. That one turned over. Bees the other way. Rossbottom. One man to beat. Loses the handle on the puck. Still tries to get a shot away. Saved by Zamolja. Knocked loose to Senis with a shot on goal. McGill certainly has a go. Temper's fraying a little. I'll wait and see if there's any penalties called on this one. Senis is being shown to the penalty box. 26:30 will be the time of the penalty. Now, if the first one didn't feel like it needed a make-up call, this one either needs no call or you call both of them. We're going to wait and see. So Senis is now standing by the door, and no, he is going to be let back out. So no penalty is the decision there. Just a lot of overreacting from both sides. 6:30 gone. In the tie game, Jason Hewitt the goal early in the second. Trying to see if any of you had the scores up around the league, but we're all too busy on crisps at the moment. Yes, I'll throw you under that bus. Solway 2, Telford 1 is latest update. Swindon 4, Romford 0 in the other games going on. They're the only ones that have changed since the period started as Cornell wins the draw. Barmer around the boards. That's off of a B on the bench, but play was allowed to go on for a second there. It's quickly then blown dead. Face off left to Zamolja. Bees win it. Stead fires it between the D pair, unfortunately. Now go out the zone. Cathcart turns. Stead blocked by Hodgkinson. He'll carry it over the blue line. Cornell. Backhanded into the corner. Around the boards it goes. Goodbye tries to clear. Barmer stops Goodbye. And plays them blown dead. As it was under Goodbye as he was flattened. He will stay neutral, so we're going to go into the zone. Here it is. I think it was actually had gone up into Tom Goodbye's shorts as he shook it loose. Bees win the draw. Goodbye will just chip it ahead. Cornell trying to play a little bit of tip and run on that one. And that's a no avail on this occasion. Svek. Cornell can't beat Cathcart. Svek can't collect the puck either. Bees will break the other way. They'll try and draw a call. Nothing doing on that one. Seahawks can't break. Fired back to Nags. Nags gives it straight to Hodgkinson. He gets his pocket picked by Goodbye. Goodbye with one man to beat in Declan Barmer. Fired off the stick of Barmer. And that one comes all the way around the boards. That one almost off of us here in the gantry. See, we're not safe even with a 20-foot netting in front of us. Face off to the right is Zamolja. Seahawks win it. McGill off the glass, glove down by Nags. Hand pass is called on that one. You need someone with longer arms, Nick. Nope, I'm not doing that. If I fall off this, Nick's commentating, so we know that's not going to happen. Nags chips it into the corner. Hayward moves it on its way. Goodbye to the front of the net. That one's off the shoulder of Zamolja. McGill. Can't clear. Goodbye. Pushing his way past Hewitt. Tries to find Stead. Stead will just float that one back into the corner for the balance. Spins away from McGill. Banks off Hewitt. McGill didn't want to get that away from Goodbye. Hayward can't clear that one. Won't get a second chance and will succeed on this occasion. That one will be iced. We're going to come all the way back. Currently we've got people on a ladder trying to find all the pucks that are up here at the moment. There's also tennis balls and a ping pong ball for some reason. All the things you're going to knock out of a roof. 11:32 remaining in period number 2. Bees win the draw. Smith shot blocked. It comes off of Edwards. Moves to Hemmings-Mayer. Tries to start the cycle. No one there in a black shirt. Bruton. Back to McGill. He'll try and find Hayward. It's a return pass. Good work from the Bees forecheck so far. Hewitt. Over to Hayward. That one off of Hemmings-Mayer. Finally, Smith. Poke check by Zamosdra. McGill gives it to Wilson. Back to the blue line. Thrown down low. Smith behind the net. Loses out to Hayward. Hemmings-Mayer there to collect. Battling with Bruton. Finally not loose to Edwards. Hit by Wilson. And goes ahead right out of his net to play it. Mogg. Long stretch pass. Hemmings-Mayer tips it on ahead. Barmer gets it away from Rose. And Cornel has room to move. Sets it off the Svek. Svek steps inside. Tries to find Sobchak. That one off of a Bees player in front. Deflected off the glass. Barmer down low. Svek again. Barmer calling for it as the high man. Cornel finds Sobchak. Loses that one as he can't get under control. So Senis the other way. Play chip and chase around Barmer. Svek ties up Rose. Rose, hit from Barmer, gives it to Sobchak. Svek the other way. Tries to step inside his man, can't complete the move as Kelly does a good job of tying him up. Back to Barmer. Barmer shot through traffic, blocked by Rose in front. Bees can't clear the zone. Svek. Barmer winds up, fires into the glove of right. He'll hold on. 9:38 remains. More conversations. Declan Barmer trying to get under the skin of Ralph Senis. Seahawks win the draw. Hayward goes down low. Daintiff tries to spin off of Cathcart. Can't. Bees will clear. Bouncing puck. Hayward loses out to Will Stead. Does a good job of tying his man up though. Stead back to the blue line. Chance in the front. Saved by Zamosdra. Puck loose. Mad scramble for it. Declan Jones, the one most alert, and he'll bring it the other way. Jones will try and get around Kelly. Pushed into the corner. Scramble in front. Bees can't clear. Daintiff finds Jones. Loses the puck on that occasion. Thrown into free space. Thrown in on net into the glove of Zamosdra. He will just hold on. Face off on the right hand side of Zamosdra's net. Bees given a warning off the draw. Win it on the second occasion. Martin back to the blue line. Mogg through traffic. Tip from Wilson takes it into the corner. Battle for it. Hemmings-Mayer brings it out of the pile. Looking for a passing option. Finds Nags. Martin. We go back to Wilson. Gets his pocket picked by Hewitt. And clear the pass, just gets it out of the zone. Mogg. Try and give that to Hemmings-Mayer. Tied up, and Martin is there to collect. Josh Martin steps in, winds up, fires off the shoulder of Zamosdra. Rebound to Hemmings-Mayer, blocked by Barmer. Edwards gives it straight back to Martin. Down low. Wilson gets there first. No one for help as Barmer makes the hit. Barmer at the far side wall. Everyone, Nags and Bruton go to battle for it. Breaks loose to Seahawks. Cross-ice pass at the second attempt. That one is going to be icing. We'll go all the way back. 7:34. Seahawks win the draw. Hayward crosses on, fired in. That's off the pads of right. High flip up ice, glove down by Cornell. Rossbottom ties his man up. Cornell still does a very good job of getting out of the way of it and given back to Sobchak. Turns over to Svek. Back to McGill, pinching in off the blue line. That one again saved by Wright. Bees break the other way. Seahawks will try and go through the centre of the zone. Pocket pick by Hayward. Rose on clean-up duty, gives it away to Cornell. Cornell at the far side, drops it off for Sobchak. Tries to return the pass to him. Can't get a clean shot away. Svek around the boards. McGill gets there ahead of Rossbottom. Penalty is called. It's going to be on the Bees. A slashing is signalled. 33-16. Dan Rose is going to sit 2 minutes for slashing. So finally, we can give you those Seahawks power play numbers. 57 goals on the year, 34.97% success rate. The Bees penalty kill given up 31 on the season, 79.33. The number one power play versus the number two penalty kill. Let's see who wins. The Seahawks power play tonight. Well, Emil Svek has 15 goals on the season. Johnny Cornell 13. Owen Sobchak with 7. There's 35 of the 57 for you straight away. Obviously, those numbers improved with Bobby Chamberlain around. Sobchak. Back to Barmer. Svek winds up fire. Save right. Rebound falls to a Seahawk in front. Fired across the Sobchak again. Winds up. Tees one up. Off of a leg in front. Bees able to clear their lines. Zamosra out of his net to play. Leaves it for Barmer. Cornell. Back to Sobchak. Little pocket of space. Svek with miles of space. And that one fired through and out the other side. Barmer keeps it in. Cornell. Finds Svek. Back to Barmer, through traffic, Wright sees it, loses it, another chance in front, falls back to Wright. I think it was blocked in front on the first one. Cornell tried to throw a second shot on goal, and the puck just trickling back to the netminder. There's the first one blocked. Wright tries to jump on it. And then here's a chance for Jason Hewitt even, with another go. Straight into Rax Wright. 57 seconds left on the Rose Minor. Svek finds Barmer. Sobchak, that one over the stick of Svek and out of the zone. Sobchak away from Ballas, steps around another Bees forward. Back to Barmer at the blue line, just about keeps it in the zone. Bouncing puck, Sobchak, space, lovely mitts. Hewitt can't get that under control. Back to Barmer, Svek winds up, fires, finds Twine. And there it is, that's why this power play is so good. Emil Svek just able to blast them from the face-off dot. Goal number 36 of the season, 35 minutes exactly, time of the goal. You can just see him circling like a shark at the back door, and it's fired through Max Wright and into the back of the net. Not a lot anyone can do with a shot like that. It does, of course, mean we're going to get one of the best goal graphics in the league, hopefully, Whoever's running the whole Seahawks media team, I'd like to request the one with him with a beer. Thanks. Bees will now have to chase the game. Instead, as Goodbye is offside. That one blown dead. And goal number 2 is Emil Svek from Owen Sobchak. So technically, that is point number 100 for Owen Sobchak on the year. 99 shootout goals don't count. Seahawks win the draw. Hayward. Tipped on ahead by Kent. Doesn't travel very far as Nags is able to get on it. Stead tries to find Nags. He's got one man to beat in McGill. He'll chip and chase into the corner. Hayward beats them all. Bounces over the stick of Bruton. Bruton finally able to get it the other way. Settles it off. Kent with a shot. That one's saved by Wright. He'll hold on. Right, Cornel wins it. Svek turns, fires that one into the glove of Wright once more. He'll hold on. Seahawks win the draw. Cycle around, Hemmingsmere jumps on it first. Thank you to the whole Seahawks Twitter admin. Cornel, fired around to Barmer. Up the far side wall. Morg able to jump in front of that one. That one thrown towards Zamosdra. He was able to play that first. Fanned on that one and quickly snapped on goal by Hallam Wilson. Zamosdra able to stick a foot out on that one. Hodgkinson. Fired cross ice. Svek will be offside, so he has to leave it. The Bees break the other way. Shot wound up fired. Bum with a save. Rebound chance for Josh Smith. And it's off of Johnny Cornel. Seahawks the other way. Sobchak steps inside one. That one's blocked as well. Hemmingsmere will try and carry it out the zone instead of just clearing it. McGill finds Barmer. Fans on the pass. Probably the first mistake Barmer's made all night. Svek finds Cornel. Squirted away from goal by Kelly. Gets tied up. Now there's a chance for the Bees the other way. Sesenis in on goal into the glove of Zamosdra. McGill does a fantastic job pushing him away from the high danger area. Cuts the angle down. And trying to beat Mitri Zamosdra anywhere glove side is extremely difficult. This is what I've called him the demigod for so long. 2:57 remaining in period number 2. Bees with it. Kelly fired towards goal. That one's saved by Zamosdra. Sesenis and McGill again making friends. And the Seahawks are going to go back on the man advantage. It's been deemed a penalty. 37:06. Mouse Sesenis is going to sit 2 minutes for slashing. Absolutely suckered into that one. So fresh off the Seahawks scoring the first on the power play, you're going to give them another go. Ashley Tate being given the explanation by the officials. Once again, I don't think he agrees with it. But as anyone who's watched hockey for longer than 5 minutes knows, you never see the initial thing that starts it, you always see the retaliation. Well, anyway, while they're still having a chat, let's have a look elsewhere in the league, shall we? Or we could knock a pad on the floor. Swindon Wildcats 6, Romford Raiders 0. That's in the second. Solway Sharks 3, Telford Tigers 1 in the second. It's Bristol 0, Milton Keynes 4 in the second. And Peterborough 0, Leeds 2. And we're still talking. Well, the Bees obviously not happy with the decision, but it's a decision they have to live with. 2 minutes or less for Alcester Sennis in the box. Seahawks back on the man advantage. Pointless fact for the year, there hasn't been a short-handed goal in a Bees game since before Christmas. Barmer, back to Svek, winds up, fires, right, makes a save on that occasion. Mogg will try and fire it around the boards. Collected by Sobchak. Tries to find Barmer. There's a brilliant job keeping it at the blue line. Shot fire through traffic, loose in front, and Bees will clear. Barmer back to collect. Cornell over the blue line. Barmer, right, comes out of his net to play it, misses out on it. All the way back around to Sobchak it goes. Sobchak over to Svek. Tries to wait his man out, tries to go back to Sobchak, winds up, fires. That one's blocked by Cathcart in front. Barmer winds up, tees one off. That one's well wide on the radar. Minute gone on the man advantage. Svek. Over to Barmer. Just trying to draw men out of position. Svek steps in, shot, save right, rebound bobbling away. Please collect it, and then we'll fire it out the zone. Steady's way offside, he doesn't like it. But he is very much offside. He was well over the blue line. He's trying to play for the rebound off the boards. 35 seconds left. Of course, the Sennis rejoins the game. Not sure on the offside taking it all the way back, but hey ho. Seahawks win the draw. Svek. Back to Barmer. Svek winds up, fires again. Max Wright is there. It thunders off the pads once more. Shot count in this period is going to be particularly ugly, I think. And also doing his best Alex Ovechkin impression. Standing near the face-off drop and just fire slappers all night. They're in the draw. 20 seconds left on the man advantage. Svek. Back to Barmer. Sobchak stepping in front of the net. Cornell can't redirect that into the goal. Sobchak again. Back to Barmer. Cycled round. Svek. Final minute of the second period. In front for Sobchak. And there he is. And the National League's equivalent of Thanos gets his goal. 39.05. It was inevitable. Just ghosts in backdoor, the feed from Svek, and redirected home for goal number 25, 0.101, and there's still 9 games left. Bees win the draw. Mogg into the corner. Hemmings-Mayer in a battle with Kent. Just throws into the corner. Hayward comes it around to McGill. Big hit from Wilson there. McGill goes down. Player's blown dead immediately. McGill to his knees already. And looks like there will be a discussion on this. Looks like no penalty is called. 37 seconds left. Goal number 3 for the Seahawks. Sobchak from Svek and Barmer. Face-off will come outside the zone. Oh no, it will stay inside. Won by Hewitt. Hayward chips up this near side wall. Cornell fires over to Hewitt again. He's turned over. Hemmings May finds Smith. Wilson snaps a shot, blocked by Barmer. Smith turns, fires. Zimolstra didn't see it at all and still got a stick down and makes a save. And now Hallam Wilson has taken another penalty with 8 seconds to go. The Seahawks draw another call, 39-52. Wilson makes his protestations known to Mr. Goodfellow. And the Bees starting to lose their heads. Nick, any chance of working magic on that one? No, can't be. The Bees fans don't like it either. Hallam Wilson will sit 2 minutes for something. There was no signal given. 2 minutes for slashing is the call. Seahawks win the draw. Barmer, time for one shot, and one shot only. It's back to Barmer. Take the shot, Deck. Through traffic, right makes a save, and 1 second is left on the clock. So who's got the faster trigger thingy here? The person running the clock or Johnny Cornell? Well, it's going to be the person on the clock. He's win the draw, and that will do it for a second period dominated by the visitors. Goals coming from Jason Hewitt and 2 on the power play, 1 from Emil Svek and 1 from Owen Sobchak as the Bees just get in their own way. The Seahawks are 2 for 2 on the man advantage, and they have a third to start the third period. They'll have 1:52, a 5-on-4 to start the third period, as Lee Haywood is currently point chiseling by the bench. Well, we'll see if there's any changes to the goals. We'll be back with you with the third and possibly final period in about 15 minutes' time, while Jason Hewitt also now tries to point chisel. We'll update you shortly. Bye. Welcome back to the hangar for the start of the third and possibly final period of tonight's game, where it is the Berkshire Bees 1, the Hull Seahawks 3. 3 unanswered goals in the second period from the visitors. Jason Hewitt, Emil Svek and Owen Sobchak with the goals, 2 of them on the power play. All the slashes in the known universe called on the Bees in that period. 3-1 from Hamlet with 8 seconds to go. Shots on goal in that second period. We did say it was going to be one-sided. 7 on Dimitri Zimolstra, 21 on Max Wright. And Zimolstra leads the Seahawks out. Sorry, we're just trying to sort out the Zamboni down below us, as it appears to have, well, it's not very well, let's put it that way. Elsewhere around the league, as Nick is frantically trying to update his fancy graphic, as the Bees head out onto the ice. Elsewhere in the league tonight, it is the Swindon Wildcats 6, Romford Raiders 0. That is in the start of the third. Solway Sharks 4 and Telford Tigers 3 in the second. Bristol Pittles 0, Milton Keynes Lightning 6 at the end of the second. Peterborough Phantoms 0, Leeds United 2 at the end of the second. So Seahawks 1:52 on the man advantage. Get your phones ready, we'll have the man of the match vote about halfway through the period. So the Seahawks having a minute on the man advantage, minute 50 on the man advantage. As they win the draw. Cornell thrown to Sobchak. Hewitt over the blue line. Back to Svek. Poked off his stick by Stead and cleared out the zone. Punt given straight back to Svek. Cross ice to Sobchak. Through everyone. Svek again. Back to Barner as a high man. Sobchak moving around. Tries to find Svek again. Good puck movement again. Sobchak with a chance. Right makes a save. Net comes off. As Wright has to throw himself post to post. Face off to Max Wright's right. Seahawks win the draw. Sobchak, lovely little fake. Creates a little pocket of space. Monk pokes it off his stick. Barner. Back to Sobchak. Draws Capital out of position. Mogg there breaks up the pass to Cordial. Goodbye the other way. Snaps a shot on goal. Zamozra forced into a save. He'll hold on. Face off the other end of the ice. Won by the Seahawks. 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Svek turns away from Rose. Now try up the other side. Sobchak tries to find Cornell right out of his net to play it. Gloved down by Kelly. Rose unable to clear it. Ransom will have another go. That one's not clean as well. Sobchak collects at the blue line. Fans on that pass. Still finds Barner. Back to Svek. Room again. Lovely little toe drag. Broken up by Kelly. Sobchak. Backdoor chance again. Svek. Blocked by Balaz. Barmer. Shot through traffic. And that's off the paddle of Wright. 5 seconds left on the Wilson minor. Svek stepping in. Fires a shot into the glove of Wright. And the penalty expires. We're back to 5 on 5. Ranson and Hewitt exchanging pleasantries. Bees win the draw. Kept in, Jones. Fired off of the pad of Wright, gloves it down himself off the rebound. Nags with the puck, steps inside Kent. Gets a return pass off Rossbottom. Man draped all over him, loses the puck eventually. Does well to get it back though. Sets off to Rossbottom. Rossbottom thrown through the zone to Stead. Back to Rossbottom. Mogg through traffic. Blocked in front. Nags again. Broken up on the feed to Stead. Seahawks the other way. That one just behind Bruton. Finds Jones. Bruton dumped to the ice by Nags. Kent takes the puck off him. Mogg. Up to Stead. Finds Gabai. 2-on-1 for the Bees as Gabai loses the handle on the puck. Svek will go back. 3 minutes gone in the third. Seahawks very much already in shutdown mode, you feel. Thrown into the corner. Kelly gets there ahead of Sobchak. Hemmings-Mayer can't beat Svek to it. Thrown into the opposite corner. Svek finds Cornell. High wide to Barmer. Through traffic, saved by Wright in front. He'll hold on. Face off in the near side zone. Won by the Seahawks. Speck pokes it back to the blue line. Shot in front. Blasted into the glove of Wright once more. Things win the draw once more. Kelly around the boards. Smith picked off by Cornell. Across to Sobchak. Tries to run out of position in front. Cornell battles to get in front of Kelly. Puts it wide of the net. Sobchak fakes the shot a little too well as it faked out almost everybody. Kelly pokes it away from Hodgkinson. Smith, that one not clean as well. Rose off the near side walls. He's hammered by Cornell. But he's able to turn it over. Rose pinching in shot. Kick saves Zamosdra. Turned over once more. Chance for Smith. Tried to shovel it in short side. Saved by Zamosdra. More aggressive cuddling going on. So face-off will stay in the Seahawks zone. Face-off on by the Bees. Sesenis shot. That one's into the glove of Zamosdra. Bees win the draw again. Sesenis rides the incoming hit from Haywood. Hemmings-Mayer spins into trouble through Seahawks and they create the turnover. Cleared up ice. Mogg pokes it off the stick of Edwards. They'll try on the other side. Haywood, that one's blocked by Nags. In front, given away to Hemmings-Mayer. Bees will go the other way. Hemmings-Mayer away from Hewitt. Sesenis feels he's been tripped behind play by Haywood. And no call on that one. I think he's going to talk himself into a misconduct here if he's not careful. And he has. I'm not Nostradamus, I can just see things coming, honestly. 44-50, Ralph Sesenis is going to sit, and I imagine the Seahawks are going to go back on the man advantage. There was an Olympic contest for nibbling tonight. The Bees would win gold, silver and bronze. Every penalty so far they have been suckered into. Well, they've just let frustration get the better of them. Sesenis has another go at Mark Goodfellow as he comes over to tell the call, and it is 2 minutes for abusive official. Seahawks go back on the man advantage. So, Seahawks back on a man advantage. I'm still going to keep tempting fate by saying there hasn't been a short-handed goal in the Bees game since before Christmas. Please. Trying to make a mind up on a face-off dot. Seahawks come away with the puck. Hewitt gets there first. Stead able to jump on the pass. Just clears out the zone. He'll get a pass as Goodbye makes the hit on Barmer. Sobchak takes the puck away from him though rather easily as he loses the stick in the process. Speck bowls through Will Stead like a walnut off a rhino, that hit. Backdoor chance, Cornell tries to draw a man out of position. Broken up by Goodbye and he'll break as well. Barmer the only man back. Goodbye winds up, fires, that one's high and wide. Cathcart keeps it in at the blue line. Dumped into the corner, round the boards, goodbye. Comes off a stick in front, and that will let the Seahawks break the other way. Sobchak, one man to beat. Draws them close together, finds Cornel, acres of space. Big save, Max Wright once more. Face off, Balans wins it. Kelly collects the puck. And he will try and clear. Kept in by Barmer for a split second. Rose able to complete the clearance. Going to come straight back the other way. Cornel tries to get through Ranson, finds Sobchak. Little spinner armour pass. Hewitt gets stick lift by Balans. Svek steps in. Going to give him time. He's going to find Barmer. Cycled around the top of the horn. Sobchak. Barmer again. Svek will go back to Sobchak in front. Two men, easy as you like. Jason Hewitt pops the water bottle off the top of the net. And 46-12, it's 4-1 Seahawks. Power play goal number 60 of the season. That record is closing in and closing in fast. Lovely move, 2-on-1 the opposite way, and Hewitt just perfect placement, top corner, over the glove of Wright and in. His second of the night, goal number 15 on the season, goal number 4 for the Seahawks. Sobchak with yet another assist. I believe that takes him to 77. Good updates. There has been a load of changes on these goals, by the way, so we will bring them to you shortly. So, goal number 2 now reads Svek from Barmer from Hewitt. Goal 3 is now Sobchak from Svek from Barmer. And goal number 4 that's just gone in is Hewitt from Sobchak. And also more point chiseling on the Bees. Bees goal is now Stead from Balaz from goodbye somehow. Balaz makes the play and dispossesses the defenseman, and goodbye gets an assist anyway. Tony hand called. He wants his gimmick back. Mogg in the corner. Fired round the boards. Cathcart. Turned over. Seahawks with it. If they weren't in shutdown mode now, before they are now. Behind the net. Jones and Rose battling for it. Seahawks the other way. Chip and chase from Alex Kent. He gets tied up with Wilson. Wright just throws it out into no man's land. No one in a black shirt expecting it. Jones. Chad's fired through the painted area. That will go out the zone. Wilson and Kent still getting tied up. And more looks to the officials who are not interested in making a call there. That one fired into the glove of Wright. He's just going to fire it straight up ice. Hodgkinson picks that one off ahead of Rossbottom. Hodgkinson into the zone. Throws it out into the paint. Instead collects. Gets a run through by Cornel. Svek winds up, fires. That one's blocked in front. Falls to Sobchak. And a very rare miss as he misses the goal entirely. With Wright sat down. Svek. That one fired well high. And that one will go out the zone. Svek to Cornel into the zone. Scored away by Nags. Back to Svek. Tipped in front, that one goes high up into the netting. 11:53 remaining in the third period. Face off, won by the Seahawks. Barmer shot through traffic. Bouncing puck, still saved by Wright. Seahawks win it again. Barmer through traffic, deflected. That still comes off the paddle of right. Bruton gets the puck back. Bruton will go towards the front of the net. Saved by Wright, bundled down by his own defenseman on that occasion. Ballas, stretch pass, not to Sesenis. Hewitt turns in the other way. Bruton drops it off. Edwards, shot, blocked in front. Loose puck, Bruton fires, saved by Wright. Point blank range, goal at his mercy. And the Bees netminder makes the save again. Nags gets centre ice, throws it into the zone. Hemmings-Mayer finds Sesenis. Back to Ransom. That one's turned over again. Hemmings-Mayer breaks up the pass. Carrying it over the blue line himself. Drops it off to Ballas. Ballas snaps the shot. That one's saved by Zamosdra. Face off in the offensive zone for the Bees. Wilson wins the draw, back to Ransom. Around the board, easily collected by Haywood. Daintiff will try and clear. Shoot up ahead, Ransom gets there ahead of Jones. Ransom plays the head, evades the hit. Played up ice, Wright will have to play it, and he will, well, he'll just throw it out to a Seahawk. Chance for Daintiff, it's fired wide. Smith fans on the pass. Kent gets it through traffic, finally broken up by Smith. Out the zone, Haywood lows it down. Turnover again, Wilson tries to find Rose, instead finds Declan Jones. Seahawks the other way, lovely move over the blue line, comes Declan Jones, saved by Wright. And that gives us enough chance to say, get your phones ready. You can vote for your man of the match for both teams. Scan that QR code there, bottom right hand corner of the screen. Have your say on who goes home with the beers tonight. 4 men for the Bees, 4 men for the Seahawks. Please vote for both teams, Hull fans. I cannot reiterate this enough. No one wants to be a Leeds Knight and only vote for themselves. So vote for both teams from the list. There's no signing up, there's no nothing like that. That QR code will pop up every now and then between now and the end of the game. You've got until the buzzer hits. Seahawks with it. Hodgkinson. Cornel. Cathcart tries to find goodbye. Barmer reads that one like a book. Svek throws it across the Sobchak. Return serve. Cathcart gets there ahead of the big Seahawks forward. Stead the other way. Rossbottom finds goodbye. Well, would have found goodbye if he hadn't missed the puck. Sobchak the other way, steps inside Josh Kelly. Little drop pass, still finds his way to Svek. No luck on the return pass. Rossbottom set away by Nags. Steps inside, finds a trailing Kelly. The no-look pass to goodbye is wide. He's on with the fire, a shot on goal, saved by Zamosdra. Goodbye. Wheels through the zone, tries to find a shooting lane, decides to go himself, and that one's held by the Seahawks netminder. 8:37 remaining in the third. Goodbye deciding to go on his lonesome. Here's that QR code again, by the way. You can have your say on both teams' man of the match winners this evening. The Bees win the draw. Thrown down low. Balance. Cleared up ice. Nags collects. Bees try and come the other way. Ballas stopped at the blue line. Nags. Back to Kelly. That one intercepted rather easily. Shot fired in on goal by Edwards. Wright holds on. Max Wright. Well, Max Wright on the receiving end of a slash from Reese Edwards. And he just throws his arms up in the air at the officials who aren't going to call it. And the Bees bench is losing it as well. .45 remaining. This is the Bees players still chirping the officials. Seahawks win the draw. Barmer down low, picked off by Ransom. Turned over, Daintiff. Tries to go to the front of the nets, picked off by Mogg. Rose tries to set Martin away. He'll chip it round Hodgkinson, bearing down on Daintiff. Cleared up ice. Wilson with the big hit on Kent. Still able to find Jones. Tied up by Ransom. Who's with it? Wilson. 2-on-2 the other way. Wilson forced wide. Tries to find Martin at the front of the net. I'm not sure if there was a shot on goal. That time there was. It's fired over. Mogg leaves it for Martin. Thrown into the corner. Rose goes to play it. Fired back to no one as the Bees have gone for a change. Poorly executed. 5-on-3. In on goal. Saved by Wright. Kent. Ross bottom as the Bees finally get back to 5. Sets Wilson away. Snaps a shot on goal. Off the pads of Zamosdra. Tied up in the corner. Svek finally brings it out. Seahawks the whole way the other way. Svek in front, tries to drop it back off to Cornel. Cathcart with his stick on the ice prevents the pass. Sobchak. And guess what? The Bees have been called into another penalty. And now there's more scrapping in front. Kelly and Svek. Lots of arms in the air here. 53-43. And Ty Cathcart is the one going to the box. By the looks of it. Well, hang on. Well, we've got one official signaling one, another for another. 2 for high sticks has been called, and it's Johnny Cornel. Johnny Cornel will sit 2 for high sticking at 53-43. And the Bees are going to go to the man advantage. One official pointed at Ty Cathcart, one pointed at Johnny Cornel. And seniority from Will Hewitt has overruled everything. Answers on a postcard. Here's a QR code. 6:17 to go. You've got 6 minutes and 17 seconds left of game time to vote for your man and match of both teams. Simply click on the logo that comes up and you'll be escorted to the correct page. And also go back and vote for the other team. You know, vote for both teams. They all deserve beer. There's Jason Hewitt just had a punch thrown at him from his own bench by Jordan McLaughlin. So, Bees man advantage. They desperately need a goal, and they need a goal fast. Stead. That one blocked. And that one poorly played by Sesenis. Thrown into no man's land. Goodbye. Has to turn away from Jones. Stead. Stopped immediately by Hodgkinson. Coughs up the puck again. Again, another pass into no man's land. Sesenis. Moves it for Ballas. Going to try and get past Jones. Does. Fired cross ice. Deflected off the stick of Hewitt. Goodbye. Back there to collect. Goodbye. Finds Stead. Can't get it under control. Forced wide by Kent. Beans come away from the pile with it. Back to Goodbye. Tip of the spear. Down low again. Ballas turns, fires, saved by Zamosdra and sprawls out to push it away from goal. right, long stretch pass, 3 Bs, all of them are offside. Goodbye. Steps into the zone as they were all too busy talking with Declan Barmer and rather than playing in an ice hockey game. Seahawks back to collect with 37 seconds left on the Cornell penalty. Stead turned away at the blue line, drops it off for Goodbye. Balaz chips into the corner. Goodbye, back to Seahawks. Not, well, one shot on this power play so far. A very good penalty kill job done by the Seahawks. Balaz with a second one as Zamosdra makes the save. 4:26 remaining in the third period. 10 seconds left before the Seahawks are back to full strength. Bees win the draw. Nags fires a shot on goal, blocked in front. Seahawks will clear. Bouncing puck as they return to full strength. Mogg gets it to skate to the bench. Bees into the zone. Shot into the glove of Zamosdra. He holds on. 4:08 remaining. Elsewhere in the league, it's finished the Swindon Wildcats 7, Romford Raiders 0, as Hayward and Martin have another chirping contest. Those gloves are staying super glued on. Solway 4, Telford 3 in the third. It's now Bristol 0, Milton Keynes 9 in the third. And Peterborough 0, Leeds 3. No one is going to fight now with 4:08 to go because they know it's an automatic match ban for tomorrow. So it's just going to lead to more time wasting and chirping. The Seahawks have no intention of taking another suspension ahead of tomorrow. Nor should they. Job is done tonight. Seahawks come away with the puck. Hodgkinson in the ball battle, finally knocked loose, and here come the visitors once again. Cornell, Svek tries to find Cornell, reaches out desperately for it, tied up by too many black shirts. Bees turning over their own blue line. Rossbottom finds Rose. Smith throwing into the corner. Rose lays the hit on Barmer. Seahawks with the puck once more. Fired up ice. The deflection is actually going to make it a bit easier for Emil Svek to get the puck on this occasion. Kelly gives him a little bump for his troubles. Cornell spins away from him, tries to find Jones in front. Will Stead on the back check. And then he gets dispossessed by Cornell. Svek in front, poked away by Rossbottom. Goodbye, able to clear the zone. And go himself. Through all of the white shirts, fashions a shooting lane. And that one's saved by Zamosdra once more. 3 minutes exactly to go, which means you've got 3 minutes left to vote for your man of the match. Scan the QR code there. Vote for both teams. Seriously, the first week we did this, the Leeds Knights were in town and they only voted for themselves. You're better than that, Hull fans. I know it, you know it. As they win the draw. Launched way up ice, foot race to the puck. Cathcart is going to have to play it ahead of Bruton. Finds Will Stead. Stead can't get past the defenseman. Hayward, the man there, spins away from him on this occasion as well. Tries to find Kelly. Chance in front, another save for Zamosdra. Seahawks break 3-on-3. Gloved ahead. Jones with a chance. Jones forces another save out of right. Shoved into the corner by Cathcart. McGill off the stick of right. B's bench has officially lost it now. Goodbye with a chance at the other end. That one's fired wide into the corner. Seahawks with it as we tick down to the final 2 minutes of the game. Mogg. Rossbottom finds Mogg. Balaz. Shot saved by Zamolja. Rebound collected by Cornel. Fired high up off the roof. Seahawks win the draw. Cleared off of a linesman. That's painful. Bees with a chance. Shot fired wide. Zamolja waffles it into the corner. 90 seconds remaining. Justin Lalonde looks like he's in a bit of discomfort, but he's going to muscle out for this last minute. Svek fired into the corner. Ransom over to Mogg. Lets it run. That's off an advertising hoarding and given a Sobchak. Mogg gets back into it. Hemmings-Mayer will clear it up ice. Foot race. Ransom gets there first. Shot is gloved down by Zamolja. He'll hold on. 1:08 remaining. Seahawks trying to sneak a sixth player out onto the ice. Face off tied up. Seahawks will clear. Bruton, that one was very offside. He's going to ignore the whistle and go on anyway. That is going to stay in neutral ice. One in the second period on the Bees, went the whole way back. .4 remaining. The Bees will just want to get out of the end. This one, the Seahawks are the same. They can get back their 2 points, move them back to 57. So these two teams meet again tomorrow night. Wilson over to Nags. Human skittles at neutral ice. Thrown high, right-handers net play, gloves it down, leaves it for Nags. 30 seconds remaining. Smith fired cross ice, that's off the back of Rose. Teed up nicely for Bruton, who'll just fire it cross ice, gives it back to Josh Smith. Very much a case of just letting these last 20 seconds tick down. Thrown up ice, of course we're going to get an icing call with 12 seconds. And more handbags below the goal. Cathcart and Edwards in a shoving match. And so these two teams meet again tomorrow. What is the last game of the season between these two teams? Seahawks win the draw. Hayward and Martin will have another case of shoving behind the goal. The penalty is called on someone with 3 seconds left. And like I said, the gloves are just going to stay super glued on. Nothing is going to happen. There's a penalty called with 4 seconds to go. Martin is still offering Hayward out, and if Hayward isn't smart about this, he's just going to keep ignoring him. 59-57 time of the penalty. Josh Martin is going to go to the box. I think that is the one downside to this new rule of no fights in the last 5 minutes, or if they do, you get an immediate game suspension. Because it does just mean the last 5 minutes of a game, in a weekend series in particular, just turns into a chirping contest. And Josh Martin is still going. Now Jason Hewitt is giving it to him as Martin is still trying to be scored into the box. Martin will sit 2 minutes for roughing, 3.6 seconds left on the clock. Will Stead is now going with Emil Svek. Once again, more just chirping. Well, we'll see if it boils over tomorrow. If the Seahawks are smart about it, they're just going to keep laughing. .6 remaining. Can we just have a puck drop and get over and done with, please? We've actually got to try and find a puck. No one knows where the puck's gone. That's always a good sign. We'll get one off the bench. Job done for the visitors this evening. Easy as you like. They really turned it on in the second and third, helped by the power play unit. Sobchak fires one towards goal. Goodbye blocks it, and that will do it. 4-1 for the Hull Seahawks, and once again, still more chirping. The first period was a slow one for the visitors. And let the Bees get ahead. Struggle to find their rhythm. The second and third really turning it on. And they walk away deserving 4-1 winners in the end. So we'll have the handshake lines, and then we'll wait to see who you lovely lot at home have voted the man of matches from the list. If you don't agree with who's on the list, please don't have a go at me or Nick. We'll just do as we're told. There's still more chirping going on. Lee Hayward and Josh Martin. Lee Hayward, I think, has just offered him out in the car park. This is... You've had 60 minutes to do this, lads. Why try and do it in the final 3 seconds? Wait and see who the winners were. I believe there's going to be another penalty here called at the buzzer as referee Will Hewitt is informing the officials. Man of the match for the Hull Seahawks, as voted to you by you at home. Owen Sobchak gets it. The man gets to 100 points on the season. The Bees fans obviously don't agree with that. Barmer, Svek and Cornell were also on the list. As I say, Owen Sobchak gets to 100 points on the year. It's rude not to pick him. Well, Hull fans, it's the time of the year where I say thank you for joining us on the stream. Whether or not you joined us before Christmas, joined us tonight, made the long trip down here, or watched from home. Thank you, of course. Enjoy the last, 4.5 weeks of the season now. Enjoy tomorrow night when the Bees are up there. I'm sure nothing will happen on the basis of tonight. And most importantly of all, Enjoy Coventry if you're going. The playoffs, the Seahawks very much in, even with the 2-point loss. They got it right back and got the cue back anyway. So they are in the dance. They'll have 3 more weeks of bonus hockey. So thank you for that. And if you are going to Coventry, I think the whole block has only got a few seats left in it. Enjoy your weekend. Right, so man of the match for the Bees, once we've had the shirt off the back winners. Man of the match for the Bees. I would love to see a counter of how many times he's won it this year. It goes to Max Wright once more. A closer battle between him and Will Steadmar. Stuart Mogg also on the list. Wright picking up another man of the match selection. I feel like I'm going to say it's like his 30th of the season. It's something ridiculous. Shots on goal in the third period was 7 on Dimitri Zmolzdra, 17 on Max Wright. So Max Wright with 42 saves on the night. Zmolzdra 24. Both those in 60 minutes. And of course, elsewhere it's finished the Swindon Wildcats 7, Romford Raiders 0. Like I said, it's the Solway Sharks 6, Telford Tigers 3 in the third period. The Bristol Pitbulls 0, the Milton Keynes Lightning 11 in the third, and the Peterborough Panthers 0, the Leeds Knights 3. All gearing up for a big game in Milton Keynes soon. Well, the Bees, they go again tomorrow. As I say, they're up Humberside, next to the river. Don't have a go at me. To take on the Hull Seahawks in the return leg of tonight's fixture. And they are back here next Sunday after a trip to Bristol on the Saturday night. And what could prove big in the battle for the basement. The Bees welcome the Swindon Wildcats to town, a team they've beaten both home and away this year already. It's the first of 2 games between the sides in 5 days. That is 6 o'clock here in the rink, 5:15 on the live stream if you're joining us as the Bees welcome the Wildcats for the 3rd and final time this season. Well, that's it for tonight. Thank you for joining us from me, from Nick. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Good night.